Young County Commissioners Court regular meeting. This is Monday, June 9th, 2014. It's 9:34 a.m. Make note that notice has been given in the manner for the time required for the Open Meetings Act for this meeting address, and that all members of the court are present. If you will, it is convenient, please stand. Thank you, Mr. Wiley, will lead us in our invocation. Please pray.
Right. Father, we just come to you today just thanking you, Father, for the day. Father, we just come to you thanking you, Father, for the rain that you sent our way. Father, we just pray for more. Father, we just ask you to be with us today, Lord, and conduct this business with the county. I just ask, Father, for guidance and direction and wisdom, Father, in all that we say and all that we do. Father, be it those around that are sick, be it those that have lost their loved ones, Father. Forgive us when we fail. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor our Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Item number 3, public comments, announcements, presentations. The one that I have, it's not listed on there. I just picked it off the internet this morning. I think probably all members of the court got it. Allison Bass with regard to the Advance County Road Sign Program.
Yes.
They have abandoned their initiative and have gone back to their original posting and maintenance of those signs.
Voices can be heard.
Yeah, that was a quicker bit of heat about it down in Galveston than we were.
Yes.
Is there any other announcements?
Judge, somebody from the city came on Friday, and I thought he was going to be here today, talking about putting some containers for recycling.
Okay, yeah. Joel Williams, he came in the office this morning, talking about the recycle program. The city of Graham is kind of an initiative that they're going through, and asked if we would like to participate in that program, that be willing to bring the containers here, and they're going to collect and pick up containers with a little bit of help from our maintenance men to deliver them from the floors to the doors, things like that. And I said, well, probably so. It's not a, it's a single source. No, we don't have to sort them. Just put them in the bin. It's kind of like one of those 90-gallon containers. And we talked about having one on each floor. I thought probably would be okay, but and he'll have a list of recyclable products to go in there. About once a week, he thinks that we can roll them out there to the door. He would be glad to exchange them, takes them to the city recycling center, bales that up, and I can't remember how many pound bale he said, several 100-pound bale, and they ship it to McKinney where they will put that.
So that'll mean each office in the courthouse will need to keep their recyclables in a separate waste basket. Carry necessarily to put it in a container.
I think we'd have one, maybe have one on each floor. Have 3 of them, and just each floor is whenever they want.
Right, doesn't have to be taken out of the office too, then.
Yeah.
Surely they can those every time you get a plastic bottle.
I would think so. I told him I felt like the board probably agree to participate in that. I don't see any negatives there.
They said the only thing you couldn't put in there was plastic bags.
Yeah.
Good though.
That's what we had most of.
He said about 80% of the waste products that's generated are recyclable. And the effort is to move 100% for that. This is coming from McKinney. There's what's down there. So anyway, I don't think it'll be much, if any, trouble on the staff or the departments to just dump that in there and we roll those out door at least.
Glass, plastic, and aluminum.
Well, it's paper, cardboard, glass, plastic, doesn't have to be separated. Just put that in one container and they'll take those containers, bale it, they recyclable products. Take it to McKinney, they'll unbale it and sort it. He didn't say anything about additional cost or anything like that, so I'm assuming there's not even cost for it. Anything else? Not consider county clerk's minutes from previous meeting, May 27th, 2014. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions that need to be made? So moved. Is there a second? We have a motion from Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Sykes to approve those minutes as presented. All in favor? 5-0. Consider update on security pledges.
$175,219.88, so moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Lyle, second by Commissioner Rogers to accept those pledges as presented. All in favor? Carried. 5-0. Auditor's budget amendments or payment of vouchers. No amendments.
Okay, vouchers, $122,428.29. Of that, $88,188.29 is out of the general.
88,000,
Uh,
129.
$88,188.29.
So we will vouchers.
Sir.
Have a motion now by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Wiley to approve those vouchers. Faithful as presented. All in favor? Carried.
And I also had gotten a couple of the invoices for the tower removal. One of them was for $4,900 and one of them was for $1,225. After looking at the different budgets, in 409, our non-department, we have our contingency, and I know that 42,000 of that is designated for the boilers. I went and looked back at the invoice, I couldn't remember if it's 40 or 42, which would leave 13,000 in there. But I think in the, there's a little bit of money, maybe 5,000, in the courthouse I could move down and pay for some of the boiler, 5,000 out of there, and then that would leave us 18,000 in contingency.
And put repair and maintenance.
It's actually in the grounds maintenance, it's
Grounds
like, yeah, we haven't spent that much out of there, and I don't know, and that would still leave like 1,300 in there for them to get their fuel and different things for the lawn, because we're not spending a lot on the lawn this year. But if I use that 5,000 out of there to help pay on the boilers, and then use this, that would leave, like I said, leave me 18,000, and then I could pay these two bills for like a little over 6,000 out of non-department contingency and the non-department budget. And then it wouldn't rain. It seems like there was some other one, something I haven't gotten a bill on, something else that we were going to take out of there, but that would help.
I think we're gonna take that door, the bird out there.
I'll take it, it actually comes out of the 350 in the,
Courthouse, make the courthouse.
yes.
Why are we gonna pay for that door out of courthouse security?
security.
We can, if there's money in there. It is a security thing.
Is this the bill, Mr. Sykes? Mr. Sykes, is this the bill that you had a question on, paying the full amount or not?
No, Dwayne had told us before he left the site there the other day that we can save the county some money by just selling that tower ourselves. And it doesn't be a $200 credit. We started this project, I had no idea that we needed to be proactive in planning to clear that area and dress it back up to the landowner's specifications, as well as remove the anchors, roll up the cables, move the tower, restack it. There was a lot of work to be done on there that we pulled ourselves off the county work to do it. Not that that wasn't county work, but precinct 1, precinct 4 managed to find the manpower and equipment to do it. All my equipment ended up at the top of the hill. So I don't know when we started bidding out that taking down the tower that we shouldn't have talked about the additional costs other than just their removal costs. Because I think that 40, how much?
49.
$4,900.
Well, actually, it's 3,800 for the crew.
3,800.
Down to do that. That other $500 labor and stuff, things like that is gonna be for Dwayne moving the repeaters and re-hooking up breakers and those things like that.
In that case, I'd like $10,000 pushed over precinct 1's budget. Because we did at least that much labor in comparison to that. So I know that's just guessing there, but.
Well, there were things that came up with that we didn't really consider when we were doing that and weren't made aware of them, so they kind of.
Did he not survey the site when he told us how much it cost to take it down?
Oh, I'm sure he knew what was there, but we were asking him, or I was asking him prices for to dismantle the tower
Right.
and move the tower and
Not the scope of the project.
No, the scope of the project, what they actually did, never was really discussed, and I can't find the price, the only price that I can find is estimated price for taking that tower down, moving that tower,
No, it's not.
putting that tower back up.
Well, we assisted in removing, taking the tower down.
Yes,
Because we put in the bucket of our backhoe and my operator operated it in coordination with him to lay it on the ground. There's no credit given for that either. I mean, we were instrumental as the crane operator, that was all, I'm sure, but the crane operator can pay. I'd like to see us get paid something more than $200 on that bill for the assistance that we let them on what I guess they suppose they did the project at. Well, there was a great deal out there, and we've still got work to do out there. We was out there this morning burning the brush pile that Mr. McMillan allowed us to stack out there, trying to get rid of the brush, got stuck one up there, which is something you'll hear very often in this country, but that was nice to do, so we're gonna put it up to another day. Maybe tomorrow, hopefully. But there was a lot of work to be done on that. Once again, I wish we had been a little more proactive in the entire project, maybe scoped out the project, understood, coordinated with other precincts as to sending manpower and equipment to assist in that, since it is a county operation.
A good part of that came kind of on the spot.
I understand.
Didn't really realize it.
Yeah, it's kind of a running gun project.
Yeah.
So we spent another 3 hours out there Thursday,
What is that doing?
finishing, went out there and seek their approval. Make sure it's like
Did he sign
they
off on it?
wanted all this other stuff done, so that's what I did
Brush
Thursday.
burn and all that kind of stuff.
Well, they wanted the stumps below the ground and other stuff picked up around it, so that's what we did.
So it's not done yet.
Only thing we liked out there, as far as I know, what we did was we did brush pile burns, and then that shouldn't be, everything should be
He
pretty.
would like, or does it need to be done? He would like, or does that really need to be done?
As far as,
The stumps and all this
You want
stuff?
to tell him it doesn't need to be done?
it's done.
I would, I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's costing manpower like that, and we're doing more than what we should be doing, I don't know.
They've got legitimate.
You know, in that situation there, they're the ones that own the land. I mean, we can leave it as good or better than what it was when we got there. It's better looking on the county than it would be if we just said, hey, it's done. It might be,
I think we still have an anchor there.
If it is, it will come out.
Not the one that would come out.
It's in rock. But everything's covered up, back rub.
We never pursue.
So it's
They're supposed to be accredited on the 49.
Yeah, is that minus the $200?
That was it. That originally only $4,000 for the tower. Well, I was
Out there
about the, 3,800, which would give $200 credit for the crews coming out there and taking the tower.
Well, I was out there for 2 days and I saw that crowd, that tower crew in action maybe 3 hours the whole time.
Well, Mr. Allen, what would you charge to climb that tower?
I would charge quite a bit, but they weren't on the tower all the time. They were up and down the tower. And then they were waiting for the crane, waiting for brush to be moved, waiting for tables. I guess they did release the tables.
yes, it is.
They did release the tables. They climbed back up and took the crane to the tower and came back down.
Look wrong.
I thought they were pretty reasonable for the charges, me personally.
Well, I may be ignorant to what it costs to get that up and down. I'm watching every taxpayer's dollars to see city hall.
Well,
It said they were on there.
get that
No, they were up on top of the tower for 3 hours while I was there disconnecting all that actually. And they had been up on it earlier too. I think the previous week they had taken some stuff and relocated the other towers.
I don't think they took anything down, because they still had 3 antennas up there.
They was up on the tower a long time after our crew got out there. We was waiting on them to get down off the tower. Then they waited on the crane.
They took the coaxials loose and it took all 3 antennas down. But,
Then that little thunderstorm too, had to wait on,
Right. I guess the clock was, meter was running while the thunderstorm was raining on us.
like they turned off.
still ticking.
Okay.
So I'd like to pay these out of contingency out of non-department. That's what I'm looking at. Both of these bills, and I guess these are the only 2 we're gonna get.
Okay, you want authorization of court to shuffle some money around courthouse maintenance?
Um,
and
Yeah, I can go ahead.
contingency fund?
From courthouse grounds repair, I'm gonna move 5,000 into just courthouse, building repair, so I can use part of that 5,000 for the boiler. And then, like I said, I don't have the bill on that, but I guess I will be getting it soon, because I think they're complete on that.
So, but it was that
And pay these 2 out of non-department.
non-department. Okay.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wiley and a second by Commissioner Pruitt to pay vouchers for tower removal from non-departmental
Non-department contingency.
contingency. And to authorize transfer of funds from courthouse maintenance,
Courthouse grounds maintenance
Grounds
into building repair.
courthouse ground maintenance, into
Building repair.
the building repair and maintenance. All in favor? Carried. Any opposed? Item number 8, employee bonds. Marcel Sunster, Young County Indigent Healthcare. Young County, actually, that's probably going to return to 911 director, I think. Well, Tyler, we're not going to have an indigent healthcare director, to my knowledge. That is so.
So, most hospital district exists.
It is there right now, so we'll know what to play.
Certainly fine.
Approve that bond.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Pruitt, second by Commissioner Wiley to approve Marshall Sumter's bond as listed at $5,000. All in favor?
Yeah.
Carried 5-0. Okay. Consider extension agent Brad Morrison pending variance report. Request for reimbursement. Morrison at 749.28, Warren, or Barron at 516.39.
So move.
Second.
Wiley? Rogers? Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Rogers to approve that reimbursement as requested. All in favor? Carried. Item number 10, consider Young County Appraisal District request for refund, O&D Blackwell, $596.85 for overpayment or erroneous payment.
So move.
Motion by Wiley, second by Rogers to approve that reimbursement as requested. All in favor? Carried. Okay, consider tax resale deeds. Pardue, Brandon, Field, Collins, and Mott LLP. Legal 604 North Avenue E. I guess those are all $225, price value of $49.70. 517 South Avenue C, at about $117, price value $3,300. And 507 North Avenue D, bid amount $955, price value $116.
Second. Must be a house on that one.
Yeah. Have motion for Rogers and second for Wiley to approve those tax resale deeds requested by Purdue, Brandon, Field, Collins, and Mott. All in favor? Carried. Ratify leases with North American Leasing Company for two 2015 Mack trucks at $88,000 each. This is Lacey Rogers and our auditor. We have those in package.
Yeah, it's already been through the court approved. We picked up trucks last Thursday and then paperwork just presented, go through the court with
You move to ratify such agreement.
Yes.
Once you get a tax, I mean, right at.
Can I ask, what's the difference in the leasing and how much?
Yeah, let's go ahead, that first, it's for $1 at the end of the lease.
$1 in a finance contract with me.
Yeah. That's
Why do we do that?
Tax and then.
Why do we do what?
Why do we put it in the form of a lease instead of a purchase contract?
It's a lease purchase contract, what that is.
It says lease.
That's budgetary, it's a matter of budgetary outlay.
We're trying to understand.
Initial capital investment is required at the time. It's got the dog's tail off a little bit at the time, rather than all at once.
But the contract commitment's the same as debt, right?
It is that, yes, we have to book it on our audit as that.
I can see tax advantages in the private sector, I just didn't know if any tax advantages would be here.
What tax advantage would you refer to?
The tax advantage would be that you don't own the equipment. In a lease contract, that you own the equipment, purchase contract.
I don't know that that's applicable to a county government
And
anyway.
that's the reason I was asking. How a lease would translate to county government, I know how it translates to private ownership, the private sector, but I didn't know how leasing would differ from purchase, and why would we do that, and why American National Leasing Company would ask us to do a lease rather than purchase, unless there's some advantage for them.
They're just asking us, they're offering their services in a lease format. Whether you would prefer to pay that all in one leg and
That's
you
not
know,
what I'm
I think
saying. I'm saying structure the contract as a purchase rather than a lease. But I'm not suggesting that we pay off.
Yeah, it has something to do with the way the structure, you know, at the end of the lease, it's worth $1 and then we pay that dollar.
All right, then,
I mean, that's the
I'll find out.
Have a second? We have a motion by Rogers, second by Wiley, to ratify the lease with American National Leasing for 2015 Mack trucks. As those are assigned to precinct 3. All in favor? Carried. Item number 13, discuss and consider storage options for additional alternative office DP. Go with Dale here.
We came with visual aids.
That's why it's awfully light.
To give y'all a better idea of what we're dealing with. We've got a problem upstairs, and Terry, my administrative assistant, Terry Rhodes, she's gonna give you more details, but we are disposing of cases and when we put our files in these various boxes, and we're just having to just leave them up in our office up there. And we have no place to put them because upstairs is full, then the precinct 1 storage facility is full, and we don't know what to do, and we're coming to ask you guys, we need something. I'll let her explain to you exactly how we've been, what we have, and what we're doing.
I think I've got a copy of what I'm referring to, but out at precinct 1, which is everything that we've moved from the old jail, and plus what we've added to since it's been there, there's 32 of these banker boxes that are completely full. You can only stack them so high before they start to crush one another, and we've reached that limit. There's a give or take 6 metal filing cabinets out there that are completely full, and 7 paper boxes that are that size. And then there's numerous other assorted boxes with various items in there. Upstairs it's full, there's no more room up there. There's 5 metal filing cabinets, 6 paper filing cabinets, which basically covers the width of one wall to the ceiling almost, and those are full, and 27 of these boxes, and they've crushed one another from leaking up there with the water getting on the ground in years past. And in our office right now that we don't know where to put, that are continuing to grow, we have 4 of these boxes and 4 of those boxes. And average monthly, roughly, we dispose of 35 legal size files, and we shred what we can, but if there's ever a case submission that comes with a CD or a DVD, we don't have any way of storing the information that is on that. So we scan the paper file. If there is no CD or DVD, then we'll shred that file. And but as far as ones with CDs and DVDs, we keep all of that information, and they go in a box. But so we have, that's about a month, it's 35 a month that we're putting in boxes for disposed of, and we are receiving about 48 cases a month from law enforcement agencies, Stevens County and Young County. So we're getting more than what we're disposing of, not by much, but we're disposing of a lot every month, and we don't know where to put them.
I understand the problem.
So we're coming to you all since we moved from the jail, and
You know, I
sure.
think I have a solution for this, or what we consider. The auxiliary building out at precinct 1 that we have the record stored in there. I have discussed it with basic IDIQ with Don Dorsey. Got some preliminary figures on what it would take to convert that building to a county annex. Put 5 offices in there, a conference room, a workroom, storage area, public restrooms. And then go into the back and where the taller ceilings are and put 2-story storage facilities there. And we can cage those storage facilities for each department of the county, where they have their own secure storage in that building. This is a building we already own, concrete floor, open structure that we can remodel and redo for quite a bit less the cost than we were talking about putting a roof on the old jail building that we just disposed of. So we've got an answer there. but it's gonna take the wherewithal of all of us to alleviate that problem for the coming period of time that we're gonna be faced with until all these records do become digital some way or the other. But your files are going to continue to cause you problems.
We are continuing.
I propose that we expand your storage facility out there at precinct 1 right now, come off that wall with a cage of some sort, a lockable facility. We've done that for our juvenile probation in the container that we've got out there. Precinct 1 built a wall for them. They put their own lock on it, so the back part of that is completely caged off for their juvenile records. So we can expand yours, but that's not a permanent solution to our problem where this building would be. Of course, with juvenile probation, doing the work they do with the juveniles out there at that building already, Ms. Good would be very open to moving juvenile probation out there to that building should we open those offices up to.
Well, this court would be absolutely, not this court, but the county court would be opposed to that.
Okay, I'm just laying the suggestion out there. And, she says they're out on the state highway now in Breckenridge, and that would suit her just fine. That's got to suit us. Okay? And the storage facility in the back of that barn would solve a lot of the county storage problems. We could, matter of fact, we could build them by cubicles. We could even air condition a building, a room for you if that's what you needed to do. However, the conditions in that old jail were deplorable as far as moisture, mold, heat, cold, what have you were. Like you mentioned, some of your records were had already been wet, what have you.
That's arguable.
Okay. So
Well,
I think we got some, but for right now, I can help you with a little additional storage out there.
we're gonna need something because it's beginning to pile up in our office. Our office is full.
Right, and we've got that. You're sure generating a lot of paper.
I know.
How long do you have to have a case where you just?
It depends on the disposition of the case, and I'm working right now to maybe update our records retention schedule with the state library archives. And a murder case we keep forever.
Right.
Any death case we keep forever. In the past, usually we keep disposed of cases that either went on probation or went to prison, the length of the sentence plus 10 years. I mean, a 60-year sentence, you're going to keep that file 70 years.
Like a forgery case or something like that. So-
State jail, 2 years plus 10,
So you keep it.
12 years. It would be the max.
Generally, they're moving from 10 years to indefinite.
Yes.
And some of those that we have up there, I mean, we could probably get rid of them, but it would take someone that would have knowledge that works, I mean,
You can't just hire anybody off the street to go through those files because they've got to know exactly what they're looking for to find a judgment or a dismissal or to see what the disposition of that case was before they can say, okay, yeah, we can destroy this file. And that would take we just don't have the time.
Can they be digitized and then the originals destroyed?
That's what I'm looking into that as well, because a lot of those older cases don't have the CDs and DVDs.
Even that will take a month.
But yes, you've got to have somebody
But
to
even
scan
if you
it.
digitized it, you didn't have a CD, that saves a lot of room right there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, does the state of Texas, are they have an opportunity that they'll take some of those archives like that, some of those cases? Put them in the
state of
archives?
Texas.
I'm not
I
sure
don't
they'll do
know.
those.
I
Probably
don't know.
not those.
Have y'all looked into finding somebody that can digitize those and go out? I mean, that would know, like you said,
Not
what
yet,
to
no.
throw away and what not to throw away. Yeah, I was just kind of wondering what the price was.
No, I'm sure it would be costly, but
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't know where we find that person. I mean,
I mean, you've got to have a place to put that person to do that work, and we have no room for another person in our office to do that.
Well, once again, we could create an archival department out there. Building I'm referring to, I think there's a viable solution to our problem there, what I've just presented, and requires some more discussion. But I think that can be the solution to our problem. Temporarily, I think I can accommodate your office with some additional storage.
And you
Again,
know,
we'll supply the facility, you supply the lock and key, keep it away from us.
you know, the theory that makes sense is when you do put that, we build that out there, we build it, is to take these old records that's been here for years
Yes.
at the courthouse, to take them out there. To take the current ones that we're dealing with
Yes.
and put them up there.
That would be ideal.
That makes
Yes.
more sense, to
It
do
does.
something like that. And then if that case comes up to it, then we got room in that facility out there, that if you want to, set it up in your budget every year to do so much digitizing, and hire somebody, there's facility, there's people that does that. And set them up out there and let them do that, and as they do that, then we can get the shredders and shred them and be done with it. Because it's not something that's gonna go away,
No,
it's gonna just keep getting worse.
yes.
That's what I.
But if we don't get a handhold on it now,
Find
and
out.
get a system going, and get a proper process going, then it's not gonna, it's gonna just keep stacking up on us. We can keep building storage facilities from here on out
Sure.
and fill them up, but there's gotta be a system and say, okay, let's get rid of this, go from there.
Yes.
But them little digitized records is a lot easier to keep and maintain and keep them clean, cool.
We could archive many tons of material up there in that building.
Yes.
And we're not the only county that's going through this. I know, that's why I said if we find out who else is digitizing like their records like that.
But I don't know if we're in a position to spend $2.5 million for a county. I think it's-
But if we can figure out the cost and do some research on that, and we can find out what we have to budget for that deal every year.
There are
How many cases we get to digitize disposed of, and eventually,
Right.
we might get called up, I don't know.
There are documents up there in the old men's dormitory that date back to 1856 when this county was organized. And there are people once in a while who go up there and get into some of those old records for various reasons. But we have records in this courthouse back to 1856.
It's difficult for you to go upstairs with full box of those records down the stairs also.
I don't. I don't.
That, you know, Commissioner Sines, if you're willing to, make the building out there at Precinct 1 available for county record storage, I can sure look at that.
I've already started doing it. It's a county building and I go out, we've got, paper pig storage, waiting on paper pig with tax assessor collector to do that. We've got juvenile probation records, we've got some district attorney's records. We've got a lot of the old office furniture that was the old jury box seats, the old jury wheel, all that stuff archived out there. They stored archived there.
That's good and fine, but I won't be in favor of moving a juvenile probation department out there.
Okay. I mean, we'll discuss it.
Since this seems to be a problem that occurs over many offices and is getting worse, has there been consideration of maybe putting in the budget a salary for just a person to digitize everything?
Well, that's been discussed at arm's length, I think, through the last few years. But, nothing that's been proposed in the budget for that, I don't believe.
There are counties nearby that have an archive department and storage document department. And I'm not sure that we couldn't find somebody maybe that maybe already hired that we could use part of their time to do that on a part-time basis. Half a day, 1 day a week to do this sort of thing. It's all up to each department, the responsibility of their records and their storage. Once again, the Commissioner's Court is required to provide those facilities too, so. So here we are with in the 1930s, when this courthouse was built, they had no anticipation of county government growing this big. And our judicial system, as you well know, is growing all the time. We discussed the need for a new probation officer, I think, at the last meeting. Yeah, we found an office out at the bond supervisor, out at the jail. Now, how many more offices is there at the jail? Once again, by relieving some of the pressure in this courthouse, by finding some space off premises for some of these offices, we might be well able to provide the judicial system a little bit of relief in those regards also, so. You know, I understand that they need to be in proximity to your courtrooms and what have you. It's nice to be right next door, but there are many counties that the DA's office maybe not be in the courthouse direct next door to the court. So we can move people around. Sprague, Texas is 2 miles across. There's no facilities that far away.
This question is not meant to be challenging, but as Commissioner Wiley stated, there needs to be a more efficient system in place, and you mentioned that includes digitization. At what point is there a critical mass that the county says, okay, we definitely need to just focus on the digitization?
I think we really have one. Well,
From my standpoint, they need to get rid of all, get rid of it.
each office, like the county clerk's office, he's been doing that already.
That's what I'm saying.
The county attorney's doing that already. The county judge, the TP's doing it. And the county clerk up there is doing it. The district clerk's doing it. We've got offices already in place doing that. But there's still some more that needs to be done. And that's, everybody's just going to get on a project and
It's coordinated different.
get coordinated effort and get it going.
We do scan everything that comes into our office.
Yes.
I mean, we're doing that now.
But it's not what you're doing now.
That's
It's
what
what's
doesn't
done in
happen.
the past.
Absolutely.
You know, and this didn't happen overnight. You know, he's talking 1800s on the file. But that, if you look upstairs up there, through the windows up there, you can see all those boxes sticking out through there. There's all millions, tons of it. But at some point, we've got to say we need it. But not only that, that's also a fire hazard. All that stuff.
And a rodent hazard.
And a road hazard as well.
Yes.
My legal sense.
Paper deficiency.
All on.
Yes. You're not kidding.
Like I said, we have a facility out there we can rearrange to solve some of our policy problems and our short problems.
Okay, and you're saying at this point, you have something now where we can take it
I
now?
can fix it for you as soon as time allows me to do that.
Right.
Contact you. to do that.
I appreciate that so much, thank you.
Well, I certainly understand, I think the court understands life is in the need for office space and the storage. Don't know how we're gonna get around all of that, but at some point in time, we'll begin to address the problem more definitely. Thanks to Commissioner Sykes for offering his, on his precinct, sheds, barns, or shops.
Good budget. Any other precinct that would like to help, I invite you to do something.
Do y'all want to take some of those old files up there in the men's restroom and dormitory out there, and then take and put these new ones upstairs, or how do you want to start that process, or what do you want?
Only thing that concerns me is if we have leaks or something. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
how.
that's what happened. Well, before the air conditioning was fixed up there, or something leaked in our room that we had now, and the floor was soaked, and every box that was sitting in the floor is completely ruined. And you can't hardly move those boxes as they are.
That was a roof
So
problem.
I didn't know what the water was that,
That was a roof problem, yeah.
so those were going to be difficult to move.
Right.
But they can be moved. It's just the boxes are not good.
Actually, when we did that, finished and completed out there with your little additional storage space, if you would be out there to help us move that stuff around, we did that. Bring the old stuff to the top, but the stuff needs to go to bottom to bottom,
Sure.
rather than just mix it up.
Yes.
Would you be willing to consider some kind of reviving system out there?
I'd be willing to consider anything out there that would be of assistance to the county.
You know, some of these companies make these systems for filing that you can get a lot of records in a little small space. Rolling shelving.
Where's that money come from?
You still got money for storage, been on the sheriff's office in there.
No, I haven't, I'm out there, I haven't seen their rolling.
Yeah, they got a rolling file system.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. And it does take time.
Well, all of these are have files, they're in there, here, they just looks paper.
They're files.
In filing
They're fine.
folders, yes, file folders. And some files are very, I mean, we could fit
Some are
some
big.
cases in this one
Yeah.
box for one case.
The one case.
Depending on what it is, yeah. it's very-
Discovery, yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's a system that can be figured out, would be economically and efficient. We just need to put our heads together and figure out what it is.
All sickness is not death.
Okay, well, we appreciate it.
Hey Terry, if you could, though,
Just another challenge.
Terry County or somebody like that, you can call him and maybe do business. I know we're kind of delicious.
Sure.
Maybe we can get a
Yes.
little advice.
I love the delay.
Yeah, you were so good.
You know your commissioner's court pretty well.
We can see pictures, know what's going on.
Let's take about a 10-minute recess.
We'll be in recess
Yeah,
for 10 minutes.
See how the tabs.
I will call, we're back in session. We just discussed storage issues on item 13. There's no action taken. We're now on item 14, consider field dirt for Lebanon Community Center in Water.
We've got a project out there, we're gonna need some field dirt to get some, to build a dump. And the landowner that adjoins the community center has been digging, cleaned out 2 tanks over there. And wanna know if we can take it, go in there. He's gonna open the facility up where we can just drive in there and get it, come right back out. Level out what we need.
So you can work to post field dirt into the cemetery,
In the community center there.
community center.
I'll second that.
I guess that was a motion.
Yeah. Sound like one to me.
Okay, got a motion for Jimmy Wiley and a second, Commissioner Pruitt to assist, to allow the precinct 4 to assist, Logan Community Center in field dirt matters.
That'll work.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, item number 15, search status. I've sent all of y'all emails that, we got our agreement, executed agreement back to TxDOT. It was emailed sometime Friday. And, we have the letter authorizing construction to begin, and that's on all projects. I think y'all all have that. It wasn't too bad, ordeal. We had to send back one certification certificates. We'll need to, one little tick box that I had to check, had to be checked. And then, on the venue, location, I had to get Young County venue on the practice field. So we don't need to, food box, I guess.
You said there are teeny little boxes that say
I have one big So, we got the original, then we got everything. Comments, and they need to be filed, right? For this meeting. And one other item here, we've got, this, Road Genesis, some company that, I guess, really wanted to make a presentation. Y'all have to. So, I don't know whether you want to see the presentation or whether you don't.
Also, I was given, references from some other commissioners that have used this and loved the product, and I'll hand that out if y'all want to copy that, you can call them if you're interested.
I'm not listening to the presentation.
Well, yeah.
And the presentation will work, you can see the product work.
Yeah, I don't want
You know, the presentation would be good, you can see the product work.
evidently it's something.
I'd be better to get demonstrations rather than record. I'm saying, we need to see it now.
Like I said, you want to call some of these other commissioners, it's like some of them are in Oklahoma and Hopkins County. So,
Yeah.
they're probably within miles of it, perhaps.
It's a contact with them if you so desire, if you want to have a presentation or demonstration. Very good. Anybody like if something's here brought in, we'll discuss it a little bit.
So while we're on the service, I would like to ask you your feeling overview of the application for our reimbursement today, and what it is that we as commissioners in our precincts need to help you do. And it's what
I printed out all of that on invoice, in fact, you sent the new one this morning, was it, or whatever, I just saw it this morning, printed out, because I was going. I'm gonna read through it, I mean, it's gonna have to be so careful, records have to be accurately kept. I mean, because if one little thing's wrong, we won't get reimbursement, it's kind of gonna be like the Safeco for anything, I think, and if it's not just perfect, it can get kickback, so. Free money's never free.
How does this affect our budget?
Well, I'm sure how it will affect you.
I mean, they're
But yes, but the only thing in here, I got tax for the big amount. When we write the tax for the, I mean, we can let it go negative in there, then we get that money, show it in there, and we'll have the receipt in up here.
Is it gonna be online like the Homeland Security, it's just like, what you know, what I'm saying? You just put in check boxes, right there.
Something like that.
Sure.
It's gonna be hard than that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be hard than that, I just like to say
Yeah.
accurately,
But you still have
because
invoices for that too. It's just-
everything just needs to be kept.
Perfect tickets.
What I suggested to the audit group, she wrote some kind of form, it was in her
Exactly what,
application to report the machinery, the man hours, materials, all those things to apply to a particular invoicing period, and that's no sooner than 15th, no later than the 15th of the 30th of the month, each month that they're invoicing. I don't know where, of course, they're gonna have to be
yeah, I'll put it on something to get to y'all.
And then just send it to us.
invoicing next time.
But if we all have something to go by,
It needs to be standardized.
in a pattern, that's what we need to do.
Well, that's what I said, just tell them to put it on work on it and send it out to us. And use it on your computer, and then just go from there. And then everybody read the same thing.
You're not checking.
Yeah.
I think there is the ability to use sort of look the tech that has on paper rates for
Yes, and you sent
manpower.
me those, so I have paper rates and you use your own stuff. A lot of it, I guess, is gonna be contracted out to other companies. Like talking or whatever.
But you still gotta prepare your bills when you get there.
Yes.
Don't patch them.
Will the film on PDF document be better for Word?
Technically, yes.
Word document.
And you can still add to it.
You can type to it, but the problem that with Word is it's an unprotected file. So when you start typing, you could alter plenty. So
Formatted as you type.
right. So the fillable PDF is going to allow for you to type in it without adjusting the formatting and the actual content.
And get the tickets to me, and I mean, I don't think we send the tickets, I think we send in, I don't know what, I need to read through everything you sent me this morning, and then I printed off the book in my office. That we can see exactly, it's gonna have to be exactly like that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like a little box.
Yeah.
Bill, that's kind of tells you what we checking the list, checking twice. I discussed this problem with Bruce Springer last week. He said, please keep this office posted. And how difficult and how responsive the company it is. Because, one of the things they wanted when they passed this thing is make it as simple as possible for them.
We avoided the high cost of the grant, aside spending some things that was unnecessary. But we want to make certain that down here at the end run, that they have made some difficult, that the money doesn't come like it should.
The tax docs credit, Mr. Allen Ford, Mr. Paul, they've been very prompt in the exchange of information. And when I submitted some document, some part of that document, they were quick to get it back if it wasn't perfect. They were pretty quick to respond after I corrected mine, resubmitted it. They're moving pretty fast. Takes about a week.
That last webinar that I watched with Jeff Fuller in his office, it was very good. If y'all haven't watched it, I urge you to, because it will kind of enlighten you on when you need to do things and sort of how. I printed out all of those, and y'all make them too. If you want copies of them, I'm sure make copies of them. It's pretty thick.
Got nothing further there. I entertain a motion to accept the agreement with the executive for text dot, along with the authorization to commence on construction. Second. All in favor? Mr. Wiley? Aye. Okay, we're ready to discuss and consider our contract with our election administrator, Lawrence Dawson. Please come forward. Please.
Back. You guys were sent the updated contract a week or so ago, that had Mike's request of if published list pricing of the components drop within the 60 months after the delivery of the equipment, once we start making payments on it. Hard agreed to refund any of that price drop. I don't see that happening, but things that happen. It is some more fuzzy. There's also on number 4 on that contract, it says this document becomes void if we fail to fund the payment in the 2015 budget, the first payment probably. We'll probably do this in yearly payments. The other thing, I talked to Ken Treadway, who's the salesman that we worked with at the beginning, and any accessories we have right now that aren't going to transfer to the new equipment, they would also pay back in credit. We've got some cords and pigtails and fun stuff like that that we have several of, that if we don't use them all by the end of the life of these, then we can take them. This is Ron.
I'm Ron Clevenger.
Yes.
Ken's manager.
I'm Ken's manager.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, I don't see, I went to the last conference in Galveston. I don't see any use that we need to buy new equipment, because they're still selling equipment that we use now.
They are.
New.
They are, but that's based on a Windows 2000 system, and Ron, jump in if I'm saying it wrong, but in 2015, Windows 2000 will not be distributed nor really available anymore, so if our servo goes down, there's no replacing it, and we're buying a new system pretty much overnight. That's something that I find very scary at this point. Yes, they're still creating and selling this equipment.
And then they won't buy ours back, but yet they're selling it. Makes no sense.
Well, on this, they'll buy it back.
Yeah, but they're saying, oh, well, last guy was here, oh, they ain't even any good no more. And then we go to that trade show, and they're still selling them from new.
Still selling new ones.
Yep.
After saying ours was near obsolescence.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Mike and Jimmy are both there.
So, Mr. Taylor, if he would come up here and address that, I address that.
So there was a couple of questions there. We have, I think, presented an offer to buy back the used equipment still sell this equipment, both new and refurbished. We've been selling this equipment since the early 2000s, and we are in the final stages of bringing our new system to market. Barry, which you have seen the demonstration. And so the HVS E-Slate equipment that you've used here in the county for so long, at some point we will transition everything to the Barry system. And so I'm not quite sure if I'm addressing your specific question, but
Let me phrase it like this, okay? At some point in time, you're gonna cease selling the system we have now, even though at the current time you're still selling it.
correct.
So there's gonna come a point in time where the arguments for it's gonna be obsolescent, running on a system that's no longer updated and serviced. That last customer that buys those machines from you is buying a short-lived system.
That would be the case, yes, sir.
Aren't there rules in place like there are in the automotive industry and other industries that you have to continue service for parts and other supplies for that unit for a maximum of 5 to 10 years afterwards? You finalize not selling any more of that model?
We do offer warranties on our equipment, typically 1 to 3 year warranties on all of our equipment.
I don't think I understand what you're saying, Jimmy. Well, in the automotive industry, if they discontinue something, they have to build a part for X amount of years. Or let's just say a patent. Patent runs out on something, what's it, 10 years that you have to continue to supply that part?
And there's some parts that you have to continue in perpetuity for, but there's a time when
There's a time
the
limit.
sales rate becomes so low on it that you can go to pass it off to an OEM market.
Exactly.
I mean, to an aftermarket.
Yes,
sir.
Is there any other OEM market for this type of technology?
We are the only manufacturer of the technology. And I think your question's really wise and fair. If people continue to buy the older equipment from us,
Yes.
we'll do that with full disclosure of what they're getting into. Meaning, perhaps as we're buying back used equipment, for example, we have an offer to buy back your used equipment. There may be some counties, for whatever reasons, or school districts or cities that simply want to buy equipment such as that, and they would be made aware of what they're buying. It's older equipment designed in the early 2000s, and
Give me your sales pitch to convince me to buy the old system.
Old system?
The old system. Because they've got one, they're selling it. So you got a product presentation that says this is the right system for you.
well, to be honest with you, sir, we're really kind of selling the new system. I think the old system isn't something that you're going to want to spend money on for a 15-year investment.
But you'll buy it if somebody else to buy it.
If somebody wants it, there would be reasons. A lot of the people that might buy the system, the old system today, might be buying spare parts. They might be, utilizing it for, reasons that give them some continuity on what they've already made their investment in.
I can see them buying back their old equipment just to keep the stuff they're currently selling in the future, repaired. But what I'm hearing you saying is that you had your booth set with old equipment that you're still selling, and it's becoming less and less value because it's got a shelf life. Right?
That's right.
Okay. But you're using it to spin off of to your new system in comparison. Is that what you're attempting to do at the trade show? Move people from that old system to the new system by displaying both?
Yeah, we definitely want to show people, those people that have been part customers for a number of years, what the new system looks like, the functionality of the new system, and to show a comparison to those counties that aren't yet HART clients, where the technology has come. a lot of people have been using the technology, whether ours or somebody else's, for 10 plus years. And a lot of counties in Texas and outside of Texas are now beginning the process of refreshing the technology.
Mr. Coker, I don't think the question that we have in front of us is whether Hart has been a good partner in providing us with excellent machines and service. I'm just thinking, is it now the time to spend that much money when you just heard the additional financial burdens that are being placed on the county for various things?
Yes, sir.
And eventually our taxpayers are going to pay for it.
Right. I do understand. I mean, it's a big decision and it's a tough decision. And I think part of the process that we've gone through with Lauren is there are opportunities for the county to save money because we are launching the new product in the near future. Certainly us buying back the old equipment is something that's on the table today that I can assure you won't be in the future. We've also, offered some discounted pricing to help make that decision.
Well, the fact that you've added this stipulation in the contract for a refund of the price does give me some confidence in your credibility when you say we are getting it at the lowest possible price.
Yes, sir.
5 years is a long time to
And-
price guarantee on that.
And to reference that, when we bought this equipment originally in 2005, I went back and pulled the quotes from then. We paid $2,500 for an E-Slate, the basic, what everybody uses, that's not the disabled unit. When we got another quote in 2012, that quote for an E-Slate was $3,300. That's 7 years later and $800. Ken told me a couple weeks ago, $3,300 is still what y'all are selling the E-Slates for.
Right.
So they're not gonna get cheaper. They're costing more and more for me to maintain. I'm sending in pieces after every election to get something cleaned up, picked up, fixed up. I'm doing some in-house maintenance myself, but it's going to be getting a lot more expensive as we go on. I'm not saying I want this because I want the newest, best, fastest iPhone. That's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, I had an election where I had screens going black in the middle of people being at the booth. If they were actually still voting, I don't know what would happen then. I don't know if they have voted or not, and if we get in that conundrum, I'm on the phone with the secretary's office trying to figure out what to do. That to me is voter integrity, and that's one thing I want to maintain is that we run very, very good, solid elections without any questions. So, when I start questioning my equipment, it's because I'm having problems with it, and it concerns me.
When we originally went into the system, we looking into the Help America Vote Act. They were mandating some of these upgrades in our voting systems and things, and there was money available. Don't recall just how much money do you recall what that grant was and for how many units? A few years later, we invested in some additional units, like the system that we had, that was 2 or 3 years ago.
2012.
2 years ago. Okay, and we invested in several more.
And that was because, if I understood right, it was because we had a city and school election and we turned around and had a runoff. And there's not enough time to reset that equipment without getting a waiver from the state. We ran into the same thing this year. I called the secretary's office, they sent me a waiver, I signed it, I reset the equipment. So, no big deal. So, actually in our quote, we have quoted fewer pieces, so that because there is that waiver available when the secretary's office knows that we're gonna be in a time crunch, we can get away with, fewer pieces. One of the big issues that a couple of you and I have talked about is the storage issue. We've got a courthouse that's not getting any bigger. These machines are so much smaller that I think I can fit most everything into my office. It clears out my vault so that I can use my vault for storage for record retention. And then it also, I would probably just line one wall with the cages rather than having them all the way up and down the hallways and in everybody's face. And right now it's a security issue for me because if somebody came in and started throwing those cages are heavy, but if 2 or 3 of them got together and started throwing around cages, I don't know what we're into then. So, it's out there in the open.
How many of these new, for the old style units do you think you'll have left?
I don't know off the top of my head, I had to just remember a guess, I said it's hundreds.
200?
Yes, sir.
2, 3, 4?
200 or 300.
What process do we have to do to sell these old units to another county?
That's what I was thinking.
We have to send them to y'all, get them clean, refurbished before we can take all liability off those, or is there any liability on the county?
It's like trading a car. It's like trading a car, because if you trade it to the dealer, they're not gonna give you this money.
You're gonna give us $250, there ought to be much more than that to a county that's growing or needs to expand their equipment.
I was thinking the same thing.
And at the same time, how much does a refurbished unit bring that y'all refurbished? And they won't sell it.
Well,
Can we get more value for this used equipment by selling it on our own?
Privately instead of selling it to you.
right. I don't know specifically the answer to your question about what has to be done for you to do that on your own, but I can.
I think from what I see on the listserv, a lot of times they have to go through the same, I don't remember what y'all call it. when you-
Disposal of county.
Right, it's the disposal property, and then we have to put it out there and,
Not a big deal.
That's not a big deal from county to county or county.
No,
Right.
to another county, that can be a transfer, it doesn't have to be a bid.
Entity between entities.
It's not a big deal, but to try to get more value for what we've got.
well,
That
and
would help on our down payment.
it's not just the sticker price as far as when they buy back. There's $250 plus, when they send the truck with the new equipment, they just put our equipment in the old, and the truck and take it back. So we're saving shipping costs as well, just to put that out there.
Let me tell you, from our situation, though, I can see that they wouldn't want to supply you with the name of one of their customers they're trying to sell them to, for us to sell out.
But that,
Okay, I mean,
that prompts the
he's
question,
not gonna be real helpful in this situation.
that prompts the question, how many of these older units are you selling to counties who currently run this system?
We don't, we probably sold this equipment to existing customers primarily over the last 4 or 5 years. There have been a handful of newer clients that have bought it, but frankly, most of this system, and there's about, I think, 90,000 pieces of equipment, whether they're the scanners or the e-slates, throughout Texas and the rest of the United States. Most of the equipment that we continue to sell is for the wants and needs of existing customers.
Have you sold this new system to some of your customers, current customers, that have the system that we have?
This new system is just coming to market. We've sold our first customer, the new system Verity, to Prince William County, Virginia. And we've been very active in Virginia. They're an active state in terms of needing to refresh the technology.
When was that system going to be delivered?
We expect that it's going to be delivered in the fall. And that's the scanning system. The electronic system that you vote on here in Young County will be delivered probably around in the spring of 2015.
So we'd be the second county in the United States to purchase this equipment.
You would be the second county.
And guys, I know we've talked about this before, but Young County really is on the leading edge of technology to begin with. Shirley did a fantastic job getting us into the e-slate system, and I was shocked at how many counties are still paper-based counties. I just thought everybody voted like we did. We're in county, we're at the bottom of the list. Man, we're way ahead of the curveball here. So, with that comes the expectation of needing to maintain that. Some of you and I talked about the ease for voters, the ease for poll workers, as far as the workings of the machines. We have a lot of trouble with our voters, our poll workers, not pushing the right button for a provisional vote, and that can be kind of exciting sometimes if somebody voted that shouldn't have, or that doesn't get counted correctly. So talked to Ken about that, and the interfacing for the poll workers is a lot easier. Right now, we've got everything from people my age up to 80, 90-year-old people coming in and mashing on those screens, and I have to tell them to be still, mashing on the screen, and won't do anything. And they, a lot of them fuss about it. So, that's where I sit with it. People hate these equipment in Young County. They don't like the wheel for some reason, but that's
Paper ballots.
okay.
I can tell you, most of the looking critics of this whole thing says, why don't we make paper ballots?
And
know,
paper ballots are,
Yeah, they don't understand the voting system.
They don't. and that's, I was encouraged by Mike putting it on Facebook for voters to make some remarks. And I read through every one of them on both of your pages, and every time I read them, I got madder, because I couldn't explain enough why what they were saying didn't work. We can't go back to paper ballots like we did 20 years ago. Number one, we don't have the manpower willing to come in and count until 2 or 3 in the morning. Number two, the federal government won't allow it. So, yes, paper could be easier, but it's not as transparent. These, I can't add votes in. I told Ron earlier, I said, there were some elections where what I was hearing from voters was, we're not gonna elect that guy, and then they all got elected. So I can't figure out where that disconnect is. I was kind of shocked by the outcomes, but, that's the integrity of the election that I'm looking for, and that I'm wanting to continue to be able to deliver.
There are no simple solutions to complex problems.
And I don't want to stand up here and give you a sales pitch. It's your decision, and it's a big one. It's a big number for the county to consider. I recognize that. I think what I would just say is we recognize that. We recognize that, like Commissioner Pruitt said, that you're making an early decision for a new system, and because of that, we're putting an offer on the table that's as attractive as it's going to be. So.
And, the support that Hart has offered for me, as far as implementing the new system, they've got 15 days worth of people coming to sit in my office and help me run an election. If this all times out correctly, we would be looking at implementing this for the local elections in May of 15, which would be kind of a baby election, which would be helpful, good rollout, get people introduced and get me introduced as well. Plus, I would have the support of a Hart representative that knows what they're doing and can kind of help me walk through it. And that's an attractive thing as well to me.
Question, Clevenger?
Yes, sir.
Clevenger. This package is $345,800 essentially. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
In 2 years, what would you expect that this package would cost?
I don't, the only thing I can tell you with certainty is the item number 8 for $3,000. That price has gone to $5,800 already.
Each.
So that price is going up, and one of the things that's different about this business, while we're in the technology business, the cost of goods don't get driven down like we expect with printers and computers.
Well, it's a finite market, I suppose, specialty market.
It's a specialty market.
You would expect it to do what it would do with mass production of electronic goods.
Exactly.
These are not iPhones. These are not anything similar.
Yeah, they're one-trick ponies.
They are. It's a very unique niche industry, and to be more specific on your question, I would think that perhaps the voting machines themselves could increase in price by upwards of $1,000 if the market kind of took that path for us. So, but I don't want to render a guess. I mean, the only concrete information I have in terms of prices going up on that line item number 8. Y'all surely contract for construction of these electronic pieces of equipment out? Yes, sir. And they build them for you? That's correct. They build specifically for Mark? That's right. And nobody else? Correct. Okay.
That was the presentation the last time they was here, the reason that item number 8 was going up is because there was a part inside that machine that cost more than what we was getting production on the parts.
That's correct. We have, I don't want to bore you with details, but there's a stronger likelihood that the price of our entire system is going up versus going down. And it's not an industry or a market where the prices just naturally come down like you become accustomed to in computers. It's us hiring a contract manufacturer, sourcing supply, and building that product over a long run, 4, 5, 6 years. And typically, labor goes up, cost of materials go up, and that translates into a little bit higher prices for the end product.
So what you're saying is that buying at this price, we could potentially be getting on the left-hand side of a small bell curve, so actually for a short period of time have a rise before it starts to deplete and
Absolutely.
become obsolete.
That's a great way to explain it.
Understand what I'm saying?
And you're gonna, yeah, and this system is, you know, with the problems that she's mentioned, you're gonna be investing in a system that's gonna have a life cycle for the next 15 or 20 years.
Now, I don't know if you ever get on the right side of that bell curve.
It seems like we're on the right-hand side of that bell curve with our system right now. You know, what we gave for it versus what it's working out is definitely on the right-hand side of that curve. But all I hear him saying is that we could actually get more for these systems as used equipment down the road than we're actually having to pay for them now if that price appreciates tall enough, which we would do.
I don't know that's gonna be that tall to make it worth anybody's while.
It's gonna be a shallow
Be
one,
honest,
right?
yes, sir.
What do y'all get on your refurbish? East Lakes and stuff now?
Guarantees more than $250 they're giving us.
Yeah, I think we typically get somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500. I believe that is in the ballpark.
What did we pay for those if we bought?
27 and 33.
So
Maybe 25 when we bought them new. I
What about
don't-
the ones that, the used ones that we
1,200, I think, that we get one.
1,200.
I know that Shirley bought used equipment, I can't for the life of me think of where she got them.
We got
I
it from
know it
another
was
county,
19,000 that she paid for them, but I don't know.
but we got several East Lakes and,
Mhm.
we got several pieces.
Yeah, East Lakes, Dallas,
From
and
different
JC.
counties.
Another county that had it,
Another county.
yeah.
And, you know, whether we sell to another county or not, you know, the trick is gonna be finding a buyer, you know.
They're gonna wanna refurbish it, we get them from us.
Right,
Some additional cost after they pay us.
Right, and I don't know how we would, you know, it might take 5 different counties to buy, you know, a piece here, a
Once
piece
it's all
there.
18 of them.
Yeah, and, you know, does that create more work or does it solve more problems? I don't know what the balance is at. You know, the fact that Hart is willing to take them off the truck and turn around and put them back on and take them to Austin, that, in my mind, is a lot more simple and efficient and could be more cost effective.
How much longer is this? How much longer is this price? Yes, sir. June 3rd.
Go ahead. I like to do that.
The other,
I'm not going for it anyway.
Well, our other constituents that we have involved in this, the school and I guess the hospital and, who else? Kansas City,
well,
they're not interested.
They have to buy that extra.
But my understanding was that those were basically like a 2-year gentleman's agreement, for lack of a better term, where we would not charge them rent for a certain amount of time. I have talked to several other counties, and because Jimmy brought this question up in my office the other day, rental agreements as far as if we were to send out equipment for a city or school, depending on which counties you talk to, they may charge $150 rent, or they may go up as far as 10% of the purchase cost. Most counties are only doing 10% one time rather than the 10% per day like the statutes allow. You know, it covers us a little bit if we do have to send in equipment, but we're not overly charging our entities. The only
We
time,
furnished the equipment for a couple of elections, and I think the basic mindset thought right now is that equipment belongs to Young County. Young County maintaining it, Young County is generally running on the elections.
the cities and schools elections I did in May, we charged $20 per piece of equipment. Mostly because I didn't know what really to charge, and I felt like 10% per day was a lot. And, you know, knowing that they had helped with the initial purchase of this, you know, $20 is kind of a nice gesture, I felt like. You know, I would definitely work with you guys as far as rental agreements in the future.
So what do you think a reasonable rental agreement is if on this new equipment?
$3,800 for an ease, for an ease like.
Law allows $380
Per day, per piece.
per piece.
So if I sent only,
$380 per day.
yeah, if I sent only 4 pieces of equipment for 10 days, I don't have my calculator, but that's a lot of money. Archer County doesn't charge anybody any rental fees, except for parties, I believe, when they do primaries and stuff. Because they believe that it's double taxing. It's gonna come down to what you guys kind of help me determine. You know, yes, I would probably want to not go less than 150 per piece. Because if I send in a JVC right now, I'm looking at $150 to repair it and send it back. Do I wanna go as much as $380 per piece? I don't know. You know, that's a little hard for me to stomach.
Is that just the initial purchase price? It's not what the residual value is. That's what you initially pay for every election as long as you use that equipment.
I understand. But you're understanding as well?
Why would they not want to part with
Well, that's my whole deal. That's my whole deal.
Unless you're a school or city and you don't hold elections.
Yeah, I mean, our cities, our cities
Well, then
and
what
schools
would
are
it
not,
hurt to charge them $15,000?
City of Graham hadn't had elections.
yeah, I don't know when the last one they did. The hospital district in Olney doesn't have an election, but every 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very low amounts that they're gonna be into it. You know, right now, an election, a basic election is costing $5,000. That's what I billed both the parties for the runoffs and all the cities and schools that, basically $5,000.
Was the hospital district election a county election?
A local election.
No, it's a district election,
District.
not countywide election, but it is a district election.
District would can be charged for election.
Yeah, and they weren't.
What I suggest, or if not anything else to really sit down here and discuss, consider, I suggest that we, table this issue until June the 23rd. This offer's on the table until the 30th of June. We'll have a meeting, that'll be a regular meeting day. You know, and I think there's you know, we may need to have a meeting of the elections commission. You might need to come and give the whole commission a little spiel about that.
We have talked to the commission individually.
We haven't.
Well, I have, and some members of PART, have talked to the commission individually. Both the party chairs are very much for this.
They're willing to get that confirmed in a
That's
formal
fine,
meeting.
that's fine. You know, from what they're telling me, you know, they're both very much for this, so. As far as the clerk and Nancy, they're
Now, we'll try to schedule a meeting of that commission before the 23rd. And then they'll have to be posted, we posted.
That's definitely a meeting that we need to have.
Can we find out if there's any interest in these old pieces of equipment?
I can put it out on list.
Might be.
I can put it out on listserv and see if anybody's interested in buying what we've got. We can kind of throw it out there.
There's 345 we've got here. That's not counting the 25.
No, that doesn't come back, that's a separate claim.
This is, whatever the settlement cost is on this, that's going to be stretched out over how long?
3 to 5 years.
Three to five.
Depending on what we decide to finance for.
Okay.
And both those payment amounts are listed in number 1 on your terms and conditions.
I move we table this for the, until the, June 23rd meeting, which time include, or try to come to some kind of decision on whether we want to pass this by or.
I agree, we're not kicking the can down the road, I just want everybody to understand we're just trying to make as careful a decision as possible.
Understood.
I appreciate you coming and answering our questions.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Ms. Sullivan.
And, yeah,
Appreciate you.
motion made. They do have a second on that. Okay. And, motion to county judge, second by Mr. Rogers to hope to, table this issue, expressly for the June 23rd meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. 5. Okay, item 17. Discuss, consider, for general courthouse policy and to be included in the unpaid personnel policy, by amending 3.01 in our policy manual, attendance. I have that, this brought up as something that, we haven't had any trouble with. But on listserv, there has been some counties that have had some issues with this. And in one instance, an official, elected official, was maintaining a pet, a little pet dog of some sort, in their office, and that pet dog bit a client, and fortunately, they said wasn't serious bite, didn't cause a lawsuit or anything like that, but it did initiate some policy on their behalf. And there are several counties that's got that policy. So, this kind of proposed one here.
What's the phone number to Pete?
Oh my gosh. Don't that find the rice the dog?
Proposed the number 2 to, work rules underneath this 3.01 attendance, and that's by adding pets are generally restricted from entering the courthouse or other county-owned buildings where public business is conducted. Employees and officials shall not keep, house, or harbor pets in their county offices. But got an exception to that for service animals, those are the seeing eye dogs, maybe those drug dogs and things that would come through here periodically. I think they actually have some gas and water and leaks in the dogs from time to time. Or any other kind of animal that assisted the mobility or the ability of a person to get around, feed. Guidance and mobility, I think we have that. The exception to this policy is service animals providing necessary functions regarding personal guidance and or mobility. And here is your qualifying Attorney General opinion, that's GA 1018, held that the Commissioner's Court may prohibit animals in county offices and on county property.
All I gotta say is that Dad's arm's gone.
You bring it up with
Yeah, we did.
What about people coming into the courthouse without
Well,
If they're just,
we
They're
probably
pets.
need to post that,
cause I
You
had.
are responsible.
You're responsible for it, Cheryl. You're the pet control.
Well, I was gone the other day, but there's a semi-homeless person walking around with a dog and they came to my office.
I don't think we've had a real problem with it or anything, but I can see that potential
Sure.
sometimes.
But I can see more of it if we allow our employees to bring theirs.
Yeah.
You know. So, head off a little trouble. It's not an indictment against someone having a pet.
And ask them to bring your pet to work today.
There you go.
I got a cat that I run kills rats. I got rid of them.
I'll propose that as a general county policy and to be added to our personnel policy manual. Excuse me?
I don't have any objection. Whatever.
I guess I gotta ask for a second. I made a motion. Second.
Bring your pet to work.
All in favor of the amendment to our personnel policy manual and to be included as general policy, all in favor? Anybody opposed?
You know, Stevens County has a courthouse cat that they keep in.
In the court.
And I said, what about people that are allergic to it? Well, there's a lot of offices that don't like the cat running in. It stays in there 24/7.
I agree, depending on who you talk to, there's a lot of rats in the courthouse.
I'll talk to our 911 coordinator and see if we can't get some signs built. At least post that. I don't expect it to cause any problem. We haven't had any problem, but never know.
Should be where we are.
Definitely need to make sure all our employees are aware of what's.
Yes.
Okay, item number 18, or do we want to do that right now? Or
Let's go ahead and, let's do another.
yeah, let's do a little bit
They're
more.
waiting all day. Y'all
All
ready?
right, that's,
I'm good.
that's okay.
Okay, let's move to 19. Discuss and consider TxDOT office system bridge program resolution and AFT, that's Advance Financing Agreement, I believe what that is. The Stewart Ranch Road at what creek?
Plum Creek.
Plum Creek. Yeah. Got a call, I think, on Thursday or Wednesday late or Thursday morning. From TxDOT, and they said they had this program ready, the agreement, all that, and I think that it is a in-kind funded project that's already transpired.
So I've already got all my 10%, I'll get my match money already in line and everything.
So,
Already had my bypass roads. It's constructed, 10 holes are in the ground.
What is your 10%?
Pretty much 10%, a little over 20,000. 23 something, I believe.
I'm supposed to have the bridge redone in 2015.
there's a memo here from the Ben Coker, one of the rich men up there.
$20,456.
That is 20,000, that's it.
I had more of that in there. So what happens is whatever's left over, I understand that can be used towards other projects in the county. And that's something you guys need to remember. If you replace a culvert, take a picture of it before you replace it. Then you take a picture of it after you replace it. And then write up a synopsis and send the invoice in to Wichita up here. And so they can put it on record. So if we have any other projects come up, then you can use that money towards whatever.
Like what I did on McAfee.
Like what you did on
I got before and after.
Yes.
Which we need to do that. Aquas too.
Yes.
You know, that's about $1 million bridge or more.
Yeah, that bridge is scheduled,
It is scheduled.
and I can't remember what the match was, but I believe we've got the match taken care of. Really, I think for that, or we've gone a good ways toward that anyway.
Whatever Richard's taking care of.
done, you just gotta.
We should have a document in each dollar.
$37,000. Easy.
But that could be, that's the one you put in all those colors in.
It had an old bridge in it.
Okay, well, that was a process that was done prior to the chosen. So you can't, I don't think you can,
Even though it was on their bridge program.
understand, and then it was chose not to be done.
Really?
What you need to do though is you need to talk to,
Rose.
Dwayne and ask him about,
He's the one who's helped me do it.
I know it, but you need to ask him about whether you can use that money that you spent towards
Right.
the 10% of other things coming up.
I knew that.
So you can use money from another project as your in-kind amount on projects such as this.
Exactly.
Good to know.
Good information.
You gotta replace the same size culverts and all this other stuff. It's better for him to just come down and take it.
And they do that.
Call him, come look at it before you start.
They'll do most of it. They'll come down.
Dwayne, they really good about working with you. So.
Well, what do you, that, need motion adopting this agreement, or entering into this agreement, executing this agreement, adopting the resolution that's along with it.
I'll say.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we adopt the agreement and also the resolution set forth in the replacement of the bridge on Stewart Ranch Road in Plum Creek.
The second was first.
Second. I knew it's the first, so I said the first one.
That's the last bridge. Your one bridge that you have is lacks maybe 2 foot, being long enough to become a bridge.
Really?
The one wooden bridge you got left on the
We need
road.
to do some work on it.
Well, I'm just saying. Okay. Because that's one of the ones I was gonna keep put on the system too, but it doesn't warrant. They don't recognize it as a bridge because it's not long enough.
That's a Briar Creek.
On Briar Creek, or Taylor, however you want to get it. One of them on Hall Road, isn't it?
Okay. I think that, okay, I believe that's fine.
Do we have to find something good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that authorize the county judge to, sign on behalf of Commissioner Court? So we've got a motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Pruitt to adopt the resolution and execute agreement between Young County and Texas Department of Transportation for replacement of the bridge on Stewart Ranch Road at Plum Creek.
Plum Creek.
And authorize the county judge to enter into that agreement. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Okay, 20, is there any action to take on burn restrictions?
I wouldn't think so.
Is there any, action to be taken on restricting sale and discharge of fireworks? That has to be done, if any, it has to be done by the 15th of June.
Say no.
Okay. No action taken.
So caution everyone out there participating in that to be, use common sense and be careful.
Okay, discuss, proposed general services agreement, as needed for legal services, no cost retainer involved. And that's from bigger staff, Heath, Delgado, Costa, LP, and that is from,
Charles Kimbrough.
excuse me?
Charles Kimbrough.
Yeah, Charles Kimbrough. Yes.
I visited with him in Galveston. He and I discussed this. And I don't see any real downside to it. It's not cheap when we use them, but we don't even have to use them here.
Well, it's not exclusive. I mean, it's not them only. We don't have to use it.
We don't have to use it.
And it doesn't cost any money. But how about we hold off on that until our next meeting, and we'll get Chuck up here to
That's good.
give us a little presentation. He said he's sure willing to do that.
I think that's
I talked to him at great length, and I did emailed him a few times. I visited with, Kimbrough a number of times through the years.
He seemed to be a real congenial, knowledgeable person.
And we do business with this outfit anyway. They're the ones that configured our bond sales originally, and the ones that are involved right now through Tom Hogan and that other fellow's name, to reissue those refunding bonds if that transpires, if we can hit the target.
Sorry, I can't see it here in court having an alternative source of legal advice.
It spells it out. I don't know if you went through the whole thing, but it spells out what it does and doesn't do, and expenses, telephone calls, I think.
We all need to be careful that when we pick up the phone call and ask them a question.
Telephone advice is going to
$75 for a 10-minute conversation.
for a minute or an hour. We saw Purdue and Brandon, they don't have any legal advice. Well, they'll offer some advice with regard to
Taxes.
Tax resales and collections of delinquent taxes and some of those kinds of issues. They stay on that issue. Yeah, they're strictly.
These guys get us more on local government code type issues. Jim Ellison.
There's some things, there's a list, kind of a laundry list of things in there that it does not cover.
We also have the source of David Brooks with paying $100 a month.
If it pleases the court, we'll table that item until the 23rd, and we'll get him over here. Okay, talk to us a little bit about that, if he's available that day. Well, we should do that by general consent.
Yeah, we're just gonna take them, so we'll have to.
Okay, we've already discussed this, item number 22, we've already discussed it, some, the radio tower options. The site that we have occupied since 1974, the court voted some time ago to dissolve that lease, remove the tower equipment, and at least for the temporary time, rent space on private towers, which is what we're doing. We're actually borrowing a space for a regional repair system on the Brown Fire Department tower owned by the city of Brown. If we maintain that, and it works out to be satisfactory, we'll probably need a interlocal agreement between the city and the county use of that to make that genuinely authorized. But for now, it's a trial and error, temporary kind of thing. We have the SO tower that is on mobile phones tower up on Radio Hill. It may or may not be satisfactory, I'm not sure. I've done a little testing on it. I've heard some complaints through the SO that it wasn't functioning properly. There's or I say properly, it's functioning properly, it just doesn't have the coverage that they think is necessary. There's an option out here on the tower just south of town. It's a 400-foot tower. The cost is very reasonable. The height we would gain about 100 or 150 feet in elevation, not in elevation, but in total height to what we've had at any time with our tower or other fixed tower. That's a Zito. Got an email off them. I haven't heard back from the contact person that Eric gave to me and asked them for a standard agreement if they had one for such rent. They expressed to them that we would need something that could provide the county with a relatively long-term use, and that we'd have to have provisions in case the radio tower traded hands, give us the opportunity to stay there. Hopefully for the term lease, it'd have to be an annual lease with an extended term based on annual payments. They quoted us by the month, and I asked for the quote annually. So that's the report I've got to give for the radio tower. There's that discussion there.
One of the other problems we have, and correct me, Matt, if I'm wrong in this deal, when we narrowbanded, that cut our distance down on receiving and also transmitting too. It become a more bigger problem than what we, the only way that you can alleviate that, when I understand that is, we are capable on the sheriff's side to go to digital on the radio system. And when you went digital, you can increase your ears and also increase your distance, your range, both. But in that case there, you'd have to have a radio that would go either way, either analog or digital. And in our case, all these handheld radios we got through the grant, and all the radios that the fire department got through the grant are digital capable radios. They can go either analog, and that right now what they're doing, they're talking analog, not digital. But that's another factor, and that's one of the reasons.
Change it.
About 20, I think.
Well, the sheriff's department is already digital managed already. We did change it to a digital repeater whenever we changed it over, not long ago. We paid the extra money and went ahead and got the digital repeater. So it's ready to go. The sheriff's department by itself is ready to go. But as far as the county, it's not ready. It had to be changed over too.
Well, I don't think it's console, but the SO is pretty, is it?
I think it is.
Is it ready?
Yes.
I think every radio, almost every radio we've had has been narrowband.
Yes.
What would it cost the county for?
Well, what we did is our repeater out there was not narrow-banded capability, the counties, and we took the sheriff's department's repeater that was narrow-banded capabilities to it, and put it out there on a hill out there at Cement Mountain. So that was changed over at that point. And if the county wanted to do that, you'd have to upgrade all those radios.
Upgrade the radio?
Yes. Because most of
Analog only?
ours is just analog, narrow-band only.
You mean these big?
Well, ours in our trucks and stuff like that. I've got one in my pickup that's that's up to date, but
So these are the CP 400s or whatever.
Yeah.
we have, they're not digital.
They're not digital. But
I didn't know that. I wish I would have.
So all our handhelds have to be replaced.
well, the old handhelds would be. The new ones that we got through
No grants aren't seeing 1,500.
What was that solve our tower problem?
I say that. And all of them, but all of those that we've got.
The extended range.
You know, radio waves are a little different. Sometimes heights don't always make a difference to you because of the way and everything, curvature, you know.
I think seeing 1,500.
The digital gives us more clarity and
So I think.
longer range transmission.
Transmission. Yes, it is.
Already. I don't know where they're bigger now.
Archer County is hooked up that way. Archer County Sheriff Department is set up that way. They don't always, if they wanna talk to somebody, and don't want anybody to hear it, they'll switch over to digital, talk on digital.
And you can talk back and forth analog and digital.
Yes, either way.
And I think it's essential that all emergency services are capable of talking anywhere in this county.
Exactly,
It's crazy that you can.
exactly.
I mean, any of them could get in trouble.
So far, the police is concerned, you guys are still communicating with your crews on the road? You okay?
I think there's always gonna be some spots in the county that is not gonna be able to get the service.
I never had problems coming.
You know, if that radio tower, if we were at
If they're
our
listening.
repeaters more centrally located, it's probably better on people further north and west.
What's that, precinct 3, Doug?
Yeah.
Your radio service is not good?
Not big corner, it's not, but yeah, we're managing cell phones, so. You can hear it, you can transmit it.
You have a good cell phone signal there and all?
Well, out there in that corner I'm talking about, it comes and goes.
What we do in our trucks and our equipment, we use our talk around channel all the time.
Yeah, we do that too. Well, from Markley, then what is it, 1769, 1768, all the way down to almost Genie, you're out of radio service in that area. You don't have nothing. I don't know that.
Give us a little update. We kind of already updated it, but site we vacated.
We're gonna burn brush probably tomorrow, so the ground dries out, so we'll put ruts and Jim's place is gonna have to be reworked. But with this much rain, I think we've got an opportunity to dispose of the brush pile that we created. Of course, we piled our brush on top of his old brush, so he can get his brush pile burned also, so. But that's gonna allow us to ignite this new green wood too, so it's something we need to have. And Jim, is there anything else that needs to be done up there that hasn't been taken care of?
Nothing I know, I think we went and got all the stumps and everything that they
So when the brush is burnt, they'll be ready to sign off on it.
should be ready to sign off on.
Put together some kind of statement to them to attach their names to.
He relieves us of a lot of
Everything is satisfactory and
Yes.
other stuff.
I believe.
Is there a whole field document, something that you would use if you were moving?
Well, the Carter County Attorney took use in that
It's service.
Oh, man.
Okay, no action being taken on that, I don't believe necessary. At this time, okay.